There was a time when pulling into an American gas station meant a uniformed attendant walked right up to your window. They pumped your fuel, cleaned your windshield, checked your oil, and sent you off with a smile, sometimes with a free road map. In the 1970s, gas stations weren't just fuel stops. They were neighborhood landmarks, daily rituals, and a way of life. That world almost completely disappeared. Pulling up to a gas station in the 1970s, the first thing that caught your eye was the bold canopy stretching out over the pumps. Whether it was Shell's ultra-slim concrete shell, Texaco's octagonal red badge, or Gulf's swooping aluminum sail, each brand announced itself from a distance with a distinctive architectural flourish. The canopies were not just practical, they were designed as roadside beacons, their steel or concrete frames painted in precise shades. Shell's golden yellow, Texaco's deep red, Gulf's bright orange and blue, Mobil's crisp red and white, Chevron's blue and red chevrons. Corporate design memos from the era spelled out exact color values and logo placements, ensuring that even at 55 miles an hour, drivers could spot their favorite brand in a flash. At night, neon tubes traced the edges of canopies and signage. Shell's pectin glowed in gold, Texaco's star in red, Gulf's wave shimmered with blue and orange. Under these lights, the pumps themselves stood ready, mechanical, with big analog dials, sturdy levers, and after 1975, small red unleaded-only decals set beneath the price wheels. Every detail, from the enamel-painted pump housings to the brushed aluminum nameplates on the uniforms inside, reflected a tightly controlled visual language. In the 1970s, a gas station was not just a place to fuel up, it was a branded object, instantly recognizable and unmistakably of its time. If you are enjoying this look back at gas stations from the 1970s, consider subscribing for more stories from America's past. Every week you will find new episodes filled with vintage photos, first-hand memories, and a closer look at the places and moments that shaped daily life. Subscribing is free, and it helps us keep these memories alive for everyone who remembers, or just wants to know, what it felt like to fill up under the glow of neon with a friendly wave from the attendant. Thanks for being here, and let us get back to the story. A stop at a gas station in the 1970s was not just about filling the tank, it was a small ritual played out in 6 practiced steps. The moment your car rolled to a halt, an attendant in a crisp, brand-colored shirt would step out with a nod and ask, "What'll it be today?" He would pop open the fuel door, check the grade you wanted, and reach for the heavy nozzle. The pump's analog dials clicked into place as he squeezed the lever, eyes darting between the spinning numbers and the car's gas cap. Meanwhile, a squeegee dipped in soapy water swept across your windshield in a single practiced arc. Linda Kelly, who worked at a Shell station in Kansas City, remembered that she had perfected the squeegee in one motion. While the tank filled, the attendant would lift the hood, pull the dipstick, and tell you if the oil was low or if you needed a top off. Payment happened right at the pump, cash exchanged with a quick ring of the register bell, and more often than not, a small tip slipped into the attendant's hand. 5, 10, maybe 25 cents, depending on the size of your car or the mood of the day. Before you pulled away, the attendant would say thank you, have a safe trip, sometimes adding a quick update on local news or a neighbor's lost dog. This choreography, repeated thousands of times each day, made the gas station a place of human connection as much as a stop for fuel. By the winter of 1973, a simple stop for gas could stretch into hours. Cars snaked around the block, engines idling as drivers waited their turn at the pump. Hand-painted signs reading "No gas or closed" hung from canopies, while ration boards leaned against station walls, spelling out the rules of the day. Some mornings, only drivers with license plates ending in odd numbers could buy fuel. The next day, it was even numbers. Tempers sometimes flared as people argued over their place in line or pleaded for a few extra gallons. Station owners like Robert Nash in Nashville stood behind the counter with a rationing chart, trying to keep order and explain why the pumps had run dry. The price on the board outside jumped from 36 cents a gallon in 1972 to 62 cents by 1974, a leap that felt sudden and sharp. News crews from WGN and KTVU captured the frustration. Mothers with kids in the back seat, truckers filling up before the sun rose, and station attendants apologizing as they flipped the open sign to closed before noon. The oil embargo turned the ordinary act of filling up into a daily test of patience, and every price flip on the mechanical dial made the crisis feel even more real. By the end of the 1970s, a quiet but unmistakable change swept across American gas stations. Where an attendant once stood ready at every pump, new signs began appearing overhead, bold letters spelling out self-service. In California, the state legislature approved self-service pumps in 1975, with Texas and Florida following soon after. These changes were not just cosmetic. Coin acceptor boxes started showing up on pump islands, their brushed steel faces and glass coin slots inviting drivers to drop in a dime or a quarter before fueling up themselves. The Gilbarco 3000 and Tokheim 5600 models, stamped with their brand names in black or red, became familiar sights on the forecourt. For the first time, drivers lifted the nozzle, fed their coins, and watched the mechanical dials spin without an attendant's help. Before and after photos from the National Museum of American History capture the difference: a 1974 station with a uniformed attendant, and a 1979 site where customers handle every step on their own. Oil company memos from the era point to rising labor costs and new wage laws as reasons for the shift, promising savings that would keep prices down. Some drivers welcomed the speed and independence, while others missed the small rituals of service and conversation. But by 1978, the sight of a customer pumping their own gas, once unthinkable, was becoming the new normal. Beyond the pumps and the glow of neon, many gas stations in the 1970s doubled as the neighborhood garage, a place where the real work of keeping America moving happened just a few steps from the curb. Behind the glass doors, the owner mechanic might be found beneath a Chevy on the lift, socket wrench in hand, or sorting through a wall of tools hung in neat rows. Oil changes, brake jobs, and tire rotations filled the daily logbooks. One diary from a Chicago station in 1973 notes 9 a.m., oil change for Mr. Davis, 10 a.m., tire rotation for a school bus, 2 p.m., fuel delivery, 4,500 gallons. These were not just quick pit stops, but places where engines were coaxed back to life and worn-out parts replaced with care. The garage floor was marked by the dark sheen of oil pans and the steady clack of a mechanic's jack. For many families, the local station was the first call when a car would not start on a frosty morning or a tire went flat on the way to school. Photo albums from rural Texas capture the everyday rhythm: a mechanic bent over an open hood, the metallic gleam of wrenches, a grease-stained rag tucked into a back pocket. In these service bays, the gas station became something more than a place to fill the tank. It was a community anchor, a lifeline for drivers who needed more than just fuel to keep going. Along the nation's new interstates, gas stations in the 1970s took on a different scale, built to serve the steady stream of travelers moving from coast to coast. These weren't the corner stations of small towns, but sprawling complexes with long rows of pumps stretching under massive canopies. A family heading down Interstate 95 might spot a towering sign for Gulf or Mobil from half a mile away, the logo rising above the tree line like a highway landmark. Pulling in, drivers found a small world designed for the road: snack counters stocked with sodas and candy bars, racks of glossy road maps, and restrooms big enough for a busload. Some super stations ran 2 or even 3 islands of pumps, each one ready to handle a line of cars or a convoy of trucks. While the attendant filled the tank, kids pressed their noses to the glass cases of gum and peanuts, and parents grabbed a quick coffee for the next stretch. These highway stops weren't just places to refuel. They were engineered rest points built for the rhythms of American travel, where the journey paused but never quite stopped. A family road trip in the 1970s almost always included a stop at a gas station, woven into the rhythm of travel as naturally as the next stretch of highway. Kids tumbled out of the back seat, stretching their legs while parents leaned against the car, reviewing the next leg of the journey on a crisp, unfolded road map. The station's forecourt became a temporary playground, children circling the pumps, counting out-of-state license plates, or hunting for a pack of gum inside. While the attendant topped off the tank, a parent might check the trunk for snacks or pour water into the radiator, hands sticky from the wheel. Sometimes the whole family gathered around the hood as the oil was checked, each person with a small task: wiping a headlight, tossing away old wrappers, or just sharing a quick laugh about the last wrong turn. These quiet moments, stretching, refueling, passing around a bottle of soda, were the unscripted pauses that made the miles feel manageable. With the tank full and the map folded, doors slammed in sequence, and the car rolled back onto the open road, windows down, the day's destination still ahead. Today's fuel stops are quick, impersonal, and almost invisible in our routines. Yet nearly 90% of stations in the United States once offered full service, shaping daily connections and road trip memories. As technology accelerates change, it is worth asking what we lose when the ritual disappears. Share your own memories below.